Welcome. So we have the energy of the past coming in. All right, I'm going to read what it says here, and then we're going to tap in a little deeper. They're telling me. So past, through the power of love, you dissolve any stagnant situations or energy in order to transform your heart space. All right, so what they're telling me, and I'm having a hard time catching my breath right now. I feel like there's some energy between the throat chakra and the high heart. It's like they told me a painful opening, and I feel like this is a reopening of a past wound so that you can move through it. So things may be coming up from your past, memories might be coming up from your past, and it's not to it's interesting the way they're saying it. They're saying it's not for you to get lost in or to overthink. So keep yourself out of the mind and know that anything that's coming up from the past is coming up to be cleared, let go of, dissolved of any of that stagnant energy so that you can transform your heart and actually open it back up to receive, right? Like you may feel like you have an open heart, but they're showing me like they're showing me this restriction. It's like your heart is open, yes, and not enough for what you're wanting to call in. Like there still needs to be some expansion and opening in the heart space to be able to fully receive. So if you're struggling right now, they're telling me this is very specific. So this may not be for everybody. I feel like this is for somebody very specific. But if you are struggling with any kind of like acne or health issues or irritation, it's not necessarily like a big health issue. They're telling me just like it's like something that's making you irritable, like maybe a rash or something in and around your neck, underarms, shoulders, arms, hands, all of those spaces that govern the throat and heart. It's because of this energy that needs to be cleared. I'm going to channel a little bit because there's some energy coming through, so I'm just going to allow the light language to move through me. Okay, they were showing me as I was channeling that there's some scrambling of frequencies that are happening in and around your heart space. So there's a mudra that you can hold. Let's see if I remember. Actually, let's just have them confirm it. Is it the, no. Is it this one? Yes, but there's a better one. Is it this one? No. Okay, so there are two mudras that you can use. You can touch, I don't know the name of the mudras, so I apologize. Have grace with me, those of you that do. But you can touch your pinky and your thumb together, and your other fingers are just held kind of like almost like they're holding a ball. And just have this energy facing in towards each other. And take a nice deep breath in, and it's gonna go directly into the heart space. You're gonna feel it move into the heart space. Now the other one, can you remind me, it was the middle finger and the thumb together. And this is gonna go a little bit deeper. Is that correct? Yes. Okay, a little bit deeper. All right, so use these mudras, middle finger to thumb and pinky to thumb, and hold them for a safe space to start off with is about 10 minutes. Hold this mudra. Keep your fingers in this formation, and just breathe deeply. Take slow, deep breaths. There's energy that needs to be cleansed and cleared through that space, and the breath is going to be the way to move it and start getting things flowing in that area. The magic of mudras, I'm learning more about them. I learned them years ago in yoga teacher training program, and my husband just bought me this awesome book on mudras because he knows how much I use them and I love them. And so I'm learning to go deeper into the meaning of them. But I know that the hands are very much connected with the meridian lines. And so when we put our fingers in these different mudras, we are connecting to different meridian lines throughout our body. And we're able to bring different energies into the body to help cleanse and clear. So just something to share with you. They wanted that to come through. So if it resonates, great. If not, leave it for the rest. I'm going to go ahead and get going with the rest of this pile here. So we have, all right, reflectiveness. Yeah, it's like, okay, the energy they're showing me with this card is like, this is you in the now, and this is you in the past. And it's like, you're looking back, and almost like this energy of looking down on who you were or where you came from. And they're saying, you've risen, but there was a vibration that you carried in this space too that was, it wasn't unworthy. That's what they want you to know. It's like maybe you've done some things in your past that you just are not proud of, or if you now being in a higher vibration of consciousness, you're like, oof, if I could have gone back and done that differently, or if I could give my younger self advice, this is what I would have said or done. And so they're saying some like reflectiveness and looking in the mirror, and they want you to find the good qualities, the good things that came. When we experience any kind of trauma or deep sadness, any kind of low vibrational shame, guilt, feelings, we typically just want to move through them as quickly as possible. And they're the ones that stick out the most in our mind, right? So you may have had, this is the example they're giving me, like you may have had a great relationship with someone where everything felt aligned and it just felt really good. And then you had a really bad experience at the end of the relationship. And because that bad experience was so, the energy was so potent, it's what stayed with you. Like you've forgotten or let go of all of the good things that happened before that, all of the reasons why you were in that relationship to begin with. And so even if it's like the majority of the relationship was bad or half of the relationship was bad, and there was some point where you chose to be in that relationship, there was a reason, like it did something for you. There was a purpose in it. So they're saying reflect back on your past in this way, not from like you being the higher vibration, but put yourself back in your shoes. Like, oh, I remember when I got into this relationship, it was exciting and it was uplifting, and it was something like I felt like security or a friendship or whatever it may be. I mean, it doesn't have to be like a loving relationship. This could be a relationship with a coworker or a friend, or even a space. They're telling me like a place that you've been to. Maybe you've lived in multiple places and it was somewhere where you lived where you're like, ugh, I'll never go back and live there again. And there may have been some really wonderful things that happened there that have gotten you to where you're at now. So that reflection is what's needed for you in this present moment. We have some goddess energy coming through. All right, we have a goddess Oya, and her message is, I step into my personal power. I am the champion of me. And this energy she has here of like the machete and the light, right? Like she's been through a lot of darkness. This is the energy that I'm getting from her. I'm not familiar with Oya. I haven't really studied these cards a whole lot. I just channel what comes through. And what I'm hearing is that you've been through a lot of darkness. There was a lot that you needed to shift through, and it was hard to continue to hold that vibration of your light. There were times when it was really, really dark, and holding that little thin shred of light is what got you through. And so that's why they're wanting you to go back and reflect on it. Now, this was interesting because this Kuan Yin Oracle by Alana Fairchild, it almost never, actually, I don't know if it's ever come out in one of my oracle readings. It's typically just a deck that I use for self, but it came out for you for this reading. So I'm interested to see which emanation of Kuan Yin came through. But let's see. We have Dynasty of the Mother. Okay, and the energy, it feels heavy. It feels a little heavy, y'all. So let's tap into this. What is this heaviness with the mother? Almost like there was a letting go, allowing things to play out the way that they needed to be. And this could be with your own mother or with a mother figure in your life. There's just this energy of like, it didn't work out the way that I would have wanted it to. Oh, there's emotion. There's a lot of emotion coming through. So this is where the sadness lies. They're saying, allow yourself to mother yourself, nurture yourself, care for yourself, do the things that you may not have received. Maybe your mother left this world too soon, and there's some energy of like needing to go back and give yourself that motherly, loving, nurturing energy. So they're telling me like this feels random, but I can see why it's coming through. They're saying like hug yourself, hold yourself, like literally touch yourself, squeeze your arms, show yourself like, hey, I'm here, I got you, I'm supporting you. Yes, you've been through a lot, and look where it's got you. You're in a wonderful space. Things are moving, things are shifting. You, who you are today, are not who you were 5 years ago. You're not who you were 10 years ago, or however long it may be. It's like this energy has shifted and changed you so much. And now it's like your inner child is just saying, I just need some love. I need you to recognize and acknowledge that I'm here, and give me some nurturing and some me time. Maybe take some me time, have a me day where you put all the time and energy and effort and grace that you put into others into yourself, right? Pamper yourself. All right, we have, let's see, harmony. Yeah, harmony. Okay, so this is the start of symphony, and it's this they're telling me community, like that's what's coming through with these deities down here. And I believe this is Shiva up here, which is like is a representation of the divine masculine. And the harmony that's coming through, oh, they're like, look, you have both the divine feminine and the divine masculine here. Like they're both represented here in this space. So it's bringing these two into harmony, right? Like not always having to be in that. When you experience a lot of darkness, when you go through a lot, and I know this from my own personal journey, you want to be more of your self-protector. You want to be more of your inner masculine. Step into that inner masculine role, whether you're a man or a woman. We tend to want to take on that role of protector, provider, or maybe sometimes we don't even want to, but we have to because of what we've been through or what we're growing through. And now they're saying there's a softening that's happening, a nurturing, and you can move back into that divine mother. Now, I didn't see this before, but they're showing me this now, that this card has like this green hue to it, and the pose that she's sitting in here, I believe this is the emanation of Green Tara. And Green Tara is, she's a force. She is a lovely divine feminine energy, an emanation of Kuan Yin. And she has the power to really shift through things. Now, every time I've been guided to connect with Green Tara. I've been guided to connect it to all of my teachers. Every teacher that has taught me lessons throughout my lifetime, good and bad, and connecting it to every person who I want to bring joy and love and abundance to, not just self. So this is like the community aspect of like getting it all together. Okay, we have you are a badass. It says it's all make-believe, or rather it's all what we make ourselves believe. Wow, powerful statement. So what have you made yourself believe about your past? What have you made yourself think that you need to hold on to or shift out of? What, there's this deep reflection that's coming through. Even like the circles here around the words are like the reflection in the water. There's like an inner, it's connecting with your lower version of you, the versions of you that came before this one in this very moment, the versions of you who went through the darkness, connecting with all of these different versions. Maybe it's different ages, but connecting with yourself on a much deeper level so that you can find more appreciation for the journey. That is the message with these cards. It's like some things maybe have not happened in, or they've been out of your control, or they haven't happened in the exact timing that you want. And this is your guides like bringing this self-reflection in to say, hey, it's all happening divinely. It's all happening exactly as it needs to. And reflect back on your past and reflect how far you've come and where you're at now in the present in regards to what you've been through, what you've grown through, and where you came from. All right, we have clairvoyance coming through, and it's the energy of trust, right? Trust. That is the one thing that they're pointing out here is actually how much do you trust in self? How much do you trust in your highest self, right? Maybe you've betrayed yourself in the past. Maybe you've said you're going to do something and you didn't do it. And maybe they're bringing it back to a relationship. It's like maybe in the past you were in a relationship that had a lot of red flags and you ignored those red flags and you continued on and you betrayed yourself in the process. And there's this self-reflection that they're asking you to go back and look at and say, hey, it's not so bad that you betrayed yourself. There were lessons that you learned. There were things that happened. Maybe, I was in a horrible relationship for many years, and there was a lot of learning lessons. And I remember looking back on it and thinking, oh my gosh, that was the worst relationship. It was definitely a karmic relationship that I went through, and so many bad experiences, but also there were definitely good experiences as well. There were definitely things that shifted and kept me around, right, longer than I probably would have stayed had those things not happened. There was still like a silver lining, right? So they want you to go back and find that silver lining, like look at where you're at, what you've been through, how it's gotten you where you are, and that's what you're holding on to. They're telling me you're still holding on to this energy of it's not quite anger, it's more sadness of like things didn't happen according to your timeline. And maybe you feel like you wasted time with an ex. You're like, I wasted so much time with them and I could be like in a different place in my life. Or maybe it's school, like I wasted so much time, going to this trade school or going to this college, and I thought I would be using my degree and I'm not. That's why they said like maybe it's spaces as well, right? And they're saying, but there were good things that came from it, right? There were good things that happened. So it's finding that silver lining and using that as your momentum to move forward in life and to appreciate the journey. Okay, we have orca, and the orca whale is it's the frequency that they carry, right? Orca whales have this very specific tone and frequency, in the water, and it's almost nourishing. Like, I know I think the orca whales are the ones they call killer whales. For what reason, I have no clue, because their energy is so healing, right? And maybe that's it. Maybe the programming was to make them seem like these monsters, and so that you would stay away from the massive amount of healing energy that comes through them. And they're referring this back to you. Oh my goodness. So they're saying, like, maybe you had that energy where, like, you experienced monsters in your life, right? You experienced people who just were evil or didn't care or treated you badly. And maybe you were the monster. Maybe you were the one that was in, a difficult space and place, and you were fighting for your way out of it. And they're saying there's healing coming through. There's healing. And this healing specifically, and this is why the orcas came out, it's so magical how they put these messages together, is through the voice. It's through sharing your voice. It's through speaking up. It's through opening up through that heart space and through the throat, and tapping into your inner voice, what you believe is truth. I believe, take that word out. I think that, yeah, it did come through. I was like, I thought that came through in the reading already. Yeah. It's what have you made yourself believe up into this point? It's that belief. And the word lie is in the middle of belief. And so they're saying, like, tap into now your clairvoyance. Like, what is your inner knowing, right? What do you know wholeheartedly with your heart, right? I know wholeheartedly that, yes, I did betray myself in a past relationship by staying around after, seeing so many red flags. But I also know, I know this in my heart, that I stayed because inside I saw the good in them. I saw the good that could come of it. I felt that in their heart. I felt like they were genuinely a good person, but just very damaged. And so I wasn't betraying myself the entire time. I was working through some things and learning myself and learning discernment, y'all. Some of those relationships we've had in the past, it's about learning discernment and when to let go, when to detach, right? When to choose you. And that goes into, like, good, healthy relationships as well. With my husband, there have been times where I've had to detach from him and put back into myself, love on myself a little bit more, so that I could radiate that energy out to him, and we could both rise into a higher vibration. Okay, we got 2 more cards. We have a dragon that came through. This is the aquamarine dragon from Neptune. It enables you to access your deepest soul wisdom. So spirituality and wisdom are available to you. Develop your psychic abilities and receive ineffable soul knowledge. Yeah, and your psychic ability is clairvoyance. You see things. There are things that are clear as day for you, and maybe other people are not in that same vibration yet. And they're saying, nurture that, welcome that, open yourself up to that even more, and go into the depths of your soul wisdom. So perhaps not even this reflectiveness of this lifetime. Perhaps you're already starting to reflect on past lifetimes and trades that you did in those lifetimes that came through and made things really natural and easy for you in this lifetime. Or maybe you're tapping into some things that scared you or shifted your energy in past lifetimes. A lot of people have a fear of heights. Where's that coming from? Is that something that you were born with? Did you bring that into this incarnation with you? So I feel like this is going even deeper into your soul's past, not just the body that you've incarnated into. And we have one last card, Gaia Gateway Activation. Okay, this is wisdom transmission, earth intelligence, and learning experiences. Yeah, so they're saying, like, everything that you've grown through, that you've shifted through, has been a learning experience, right? It's brought you something that has helped you in this lifetime, whether that was discernment from being able to see who was, you know, being shady with you or didn't have your best interest at hand. Maybe it's learning detachment from, you know, when to detach and how to let go. Maybe it's learning to love yourself, put yourself first, right? There's this activation that has happened through all of this. So I feel like this whole reading is saying, look back at your life. Look back at how different things are now compared to a year ago, compared to 3 years ago, 5 years ago, 8 years ago, 12 years ago, however long it is. Look back and see the difference and see where that journey has brought you. Where are you at now? What do you have going on in your life that's different? Or what do you do differently in your life now that you maybe never would have even thought of doing then, right? I call it my most recent past life, when I was a highly functional alcoholic, there were things that I did then that now I look back and I cringe. I'm like, oh my gosh, I would never. And there are things that I do now that my past self would be like, you're crazy. Be like, what are you thinking? That's, you know, you're reading cards. I'll tell you all, from my very first Reiki experience, I had no idea what I was doing. I just knew that I was trying so hard to get away from my alcoholism, and I tried something new. And I went, and the woman asked me, I remember this so vividly. As I walked in, she greeted me and she said, do you mind if I read your tarot first? And I was like, absolutely not. I do not believe in those cards. Get them away from me. Like, to me, I was taught, the programming that I was taught was that they were demonic, that they opened up to lower vibrations, that they, you know, you could get caught up in like all of this negative energy. And then, you know, years later, as I shifted and changed myself, here I am reading oracle cards, doing tarot readings, and it's a completely different program. I no longer believe, right? I'm not in that lie anymore that they're demonic. I understand that they are tools that we can use to help us. And so they're saying, like, tap into your tools, tap into what works for you. For me, it's the cards. I love the cards. I love pulling them. I always get divine messages through them. For some, it may be just free writing and getting into the energy of allowing yourself to open up to what comes through. Maybe it's keeping a dream journal. There are so many different ways that you can tap in and work through clairvoyance. So look into that. And if the first part resonated with you when I did the little healing through the high heart and the throat, do go back and listen to that again. It was very powerful, the channeling that came through. And like I said, if you're experiencing any kind of like acne, uncomfortable, rash, anything that's like in the general area of the high heart, which is just above the heart, into the throat, neck, shoulders, underarms, arms, maybe even like parts of the breast, sides of the breast, there's some tenderness possibly. Go back and listen to that, because it definitely will help. All right. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Until next time. Adios.